Leuzinger will be in the home dark jerseys, while Hawthorne will be in the visiting white trimmed with gold and red. Captains are out there right now, and Tavita Moala wears number 1 in the white jersey, and just to his right, Mustafa Sobi, quite a story himself. Corey McCoy right there on crutches this week. He visited Frank Jobe and trying to solve his ankle trouble, and he is doubtful for next week's game. Certainly will not play this evening. And also William Robertson, the linebacker, and Hawthorne captain. And for Leuzinger, Jason Simmons, the quarterback. Leuzinger won the toss, declined it, and they'll receive at the beginning of the second half. Hawthorne will receive here as we begin this evening. Also out there for Leuzinger, Taveti Usu, big 340-pound right tackle. Anthony Baker, the right guard, and Patrick Dyer, the left guard. A lot of linemen captains for Leuzinger. Finally, John Nico, the middle linebacker, out there as well for Leuzinger. The captains have finished. Hawthorne will begin with the football, and they are coached by Dan Robbins. In his second year, they were 9-3 last year, presently 8-1. So Coach Robbins overall 17-4 for Hawthorne. He was a freshman coach for 3 seasons, then a single year as a sophomore coach in 1990. And since then, he's been leading the varsity, and he's got a spirited group of Cougars who have played as a team the entire season. He said before the game that the team concept has been a secret for them all year long, and he feels without McCoy, their game just may be elevated. It'll be Leuzinger against Hawthorne, and there go the blue and white balloons skyward. Great crowd here tonight. We're on the Hawthorne side here, and every time someone from Leuzinger walks by or the band takes the field, a huge chorus of boos arises from this side. On the other side, plenty of Leuzinger blue and white garbed fans across the way. It's Leuzinger and Hawthorne. Hawthorne overall comes in at 5-4. They are completely healthy. Ron Pitts is on the 405 now, trying to join us. It's unclear whether he will be able to make it, and if not, I will do my best. This is John Baylor for Paragon Cable TV, about to get underway. Final regular season contest of the season for us. We hope you've enjoyed it. We bring it to you Sundays at 4 and Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Chad Satter will boot it from his own 40. And deep for Hawthorne, Justin Stallings, the guy who will be playing tailback in McCoy's stead. And also Tavita Moala, the starting backfield, stand at their own goal line. Satter kicks it up front. They can't go down on a knee, and Moala does not. They've got kick return center, and somebody's going to touch Tavita. They finally drag him down at the 43. He really went untouched all the way until his own 36. And at the 43, Kenji Tatum, and the Cougar offense will commence. 1st and 10. Stallings behind Tatum, and Moala as well. Stallings will handle the tailback duties. Moala is a big fullback. His younger brother, Khaleesi, will see plenty of action as well. Leuzinger defense, really a 4-3. And they line up. Presently 3 down, everyone else standing, and they try to stop Moala. Tavita last week had a tender shoulder, and at halftime during their tough game against Inglewood, surprisingly difficult game and competitive game, Tavita decided to put on a jersey after being out the first half, came in for 2 plays, and one of those was a decisive play. Tavita came up with the interception that secured that victory, and Hawthorne goes hurry up right away. It'll be 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard gain by Tavita, and he's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Inspired losing our defense here early. Nico right there, John Nico, the middle linebacker. He had some help up front for Hawthorne. Mustafa Sobi, the great student and big outs left tackle, highly recruited. Troy Mornaweg's a left guard. Josue Torres is the center. Rene Sandoval is the right guard, and at right tackle, David Camacho. I'll give you the remaining skill positions after this. 3rd and 10, big call here for Hawthorne. They'll keep it on the ground the entire way. They get more than the first down. Shows you the confidence they have in their running game. Even without McCoy, they still went with Moala. On the 3rd and 10, he gained plenty. Give him about 14 on that. To the 44 of Leuzinger, it'll be 1st and 10 for Hawthorne. The wideouts for the Cougars, J.J. Arnett, he's one of the leaders on this team. Ronnie Morissette is the tight end. And finally, Marquise Jones wears number 6. You also see a lot of Antoine Patterson handling the football on the receiving end of passes from Kenji Tatum. He's at the controls. He clears Moala out of there. 2 big backs behind him. And he'll give it to the first one through. And that's Tavita's younger brother, Kalisi Moala, the junior. 37 carries for 211 yards this season. Tavita gets the start, but he's had fewer carries than his younger brother. Dragged down by the front 4 of Leuzinger. Rudy Casillas is at the right end position. Daniel McDonald, the right tackle. Miguel Gutierrez is the left tackle. And at left end, Elroy Tolbert for Leuzinger. And the battle of the offensive line, or the line of scrimmage, is something we will watch all evening. Leuzinger outweighed a good 20, 30 pounds per man. Miguel Gutierrez, that time, actually Daniel McDonald, that time penetrated the neutral zone. I believe this will be offside against the Olympians. Yes, it is. Before the game, Steve Carnes said they need to play error-free football. And the first penalty goes against McDonald. He's just 180. Gutierrez is just 180. Rudy Casillas at right end is 150. And Elroy Tolbert is 150. That sounds like a secondary. Those 4 are the front 4 for the Olympians. Compare those weights to the front 5 of Hawthorne, 275. And in that low 200 range at least, left to right up front. It'll be second and very short. They'll keep it on the ground again, and the quarterback will hold on to it as Nico makes another tackle. Probably enough for another first down. Kenji Tatum held on to it on that play. Nico's the middle linebacker. He's bracketed by the strong side, Ronald Nickerson. And on the weak side, Charles Smith. And you'll see what they call a stud linebacker, Aaron Williams, 85 and a sophomore. He'll be out there the entire game. And occasionally, Coach Carnes considers using the big guy, Aaron Williams, at running back. We'll see tonight if they use him. And we had an initial fumble. Tatum picks it up, and he gains just a couple. Hawthorne methodically moving down the field. It's all been on the ground. They've got a 2nd down and 8 as the smaller Leuzinger Olympian team trying to hold back the Cougar offense. And the secondary for Leuzinger, Jerome Keynes at the right corner. Free safety is Wally Mumia and Jason Simmons. The quarterback is out there at left corner, and they're all pinching, no safety back at all. They're expecting the run. Khaleesi behind his quarterback. It'll be the first pass of the game out to the left flat, and a good tackle that time by Mumia. Rushed up from his free safety position. He saw that coming the entire way. Right away, Leuzinger on defense, taking some chances, and that time it paid off. 3rd and 11. Will Hawthorne keep it on the ground?
Loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and 11 yards for a first down.
That's Khaleesi Mumia, 35. Justin Stallings yet to touch the football, clears it for him. He's typically a wideout. He's only had 2 carries all year, and both of those from the wideout position. Seeing tailback action this evening for the first time, and it looks like Moala will be short. 4-down territory for Hawthorne, however. They're at the 27 of Leuzinger. It'll be 4th down and about a long 3. And the offense stays in there. Well planned by Dan Robbins. Realized he had a big chunk to get back, but he had 2 full downs to do it. Kept it on the ground. But he's got a quarterback who's really solid through the air. Kenji Tatum completing nearly 70% of his passes first 9 games this season. 4th down and 4. Leuzinger's got to dig in right here. 7-man white jersey front, 2 backs, and they're splitting the veer, and it'll be a straight pass situation. Kenji throws out to his left. He's got a man wide open there, and he's 2 yards beyond the first down marker. Yet another first down for Hawthorne. That was Marquise Jones catching his 11th pass of the season. He's got 3 touchdowns and 185 yards of receptions through the air. Tatum, obviously a solid arm and plenty of poise there. 4th and 4. Cooley sat back there as the pocket collapsed around him. 3 state first downs for the Cougars. We've got 6:43 remaining here in our first quarter. I formation. Stallings stays in there. Will he see the football for the first time? Not now. Yellow flags everywhere. Hawthorne is clapping. Leuzinger's got to find a way to force Hawthorne to pass the football. Obviously, they do it well, but you really have fewer bad things that can happen if a team can keep it on the ground. And right now, Hawthorne is gaining its yardage primarily on the ground. J.J. Arnett to the right, along with Jones. I formation. Stallings hasn't seen it yet in a running position. He will not this time, and Tatum gets dragged for a loss. Alfredo Gonzalez, 5'9", 165, pulled him down from his secondary position. A lot of different players come in for Leuzinger. Elroy Tolbert comes back in. Gonzalez out after the solo tackle he just made. 2nd down and 11. Alex Extraa is the kicker. And also Randall Sandoval. But Hawthorne looking to go for it. And again, we've got an offside on Leuzinger. No reason for that one. Ron Nickerson, from his linebacker position, just jumped offside. And once you do go into the neutral zone, they blow the whistle at the CIF level, and the play is dead. The 5-yard infraction is marked off. 2nd and 5, nullifies the loss a moment ago. Full powerhouse backfield right now, and more set to the right side, and this will be Moala. He twists his way for about 4, very close to another Hawthorne first down. Leuzinger doing everything he can to stop the run. They really have no safety back at all. 8 players in blue jerseys, very close to the line and between the tackles, trying to do everything to stop the run against a Hawthorne team without Corey McCoy. And there's the signal, another first down for Hawthorne. If Hawthorne wins tonight, they will win the Bay League outright and get the automatic home field berth a week from tonight as the CIF playoffs begin. Peninsula will be 2nd, and Leuzinger will be on the road as the 3rd place and 3rd invitee from the Bay League. Leuzinger has yet to touch the football, and we are more than halfway through the first quarter. 5:12 remaining. Leuzinger won the toss and elected to kick off, and instead of receiving at the beginning of the first half, they'll receive at the beginning of the second half. Moala, that's Tavita behind his brother Khaleesi, and Tavita, we've got a fumble right now, and Hawthorne picks it up. Khaleesi Moala alertly ran backwards. He was supposed to block on that play, was up at the line of scrimmage, recognized the mix-up, sprinted back, and picked it up. Alert play by Hawthorne as the sideline tries to calm the offense down a little bit after the miscue. 2nd down and 17. That was a loss of 7 for Hawthorne. Probable passing situation at some point during the next 3 downs. Khaleesi up front. This will be Tavita Moala. He's got some speed over the left side. No sign of the tender shoulder tonight. He dug it into the defender there. Give him about 9. It'll be 3rd and nearly 8 yards for Hawthorne. Time-consuming drive. It's primarily been on the ground. And the size advantage enjoyed by Hawthorne visible thus far tonight. Leuzinger has still not touched the football. The yard line is the 10. Both Moalas in front of Stallings. And Justin gets it for the first time tonight, and he's stuck and run backwards. Team effort that time by Leuzinger. Wally Mumia and others were there to stick shoulders into Stallings. And here comes the kicking team. Leuzinger stopped him when it counted. Still no score. This will be Alex Extraa. He's hit a 31-yarder thus far this season. That was against Loyola. The only loss this season for Hawthorne. Plenty of leg on this one. And it's true. 3-0. Hawthorne strikes first. 2:50 remain on the clock here in the first quarter. Clock ran for another 10 seconds after that field goal. We'll see if they put some time back on the clock. 3-0 Hawthorne, and they did it fairly methodically. They started on their own 42, garnered 4 first downs, and burned 9 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock. And finally, Jason Simmons and his offense should see the football here late in the first quarter. Steve Carnes back for his second tenure here at Leuzinger High School. He coached from 1984 to 90. He was 55, 22, and 6 from 84 to 90, and this season they're 5 and 4. So give him a lifetime 60, 26, and 6 as head coach of the Olympians. We've got flags. This will be nullified. Probably an overzealous return team player crossed the 40 early that time. Deep for Leuzinger. Wally Mumia, who seems to be everywhere. And Jason Sharp, the starting wide receivers, deep for Leuzinger. And this time the kick will be from the 35. Looks like it'll be Mumia, but he's got to jump on it. That's a live football. He picks it up at the 10. And no one has touched him then. One man to beat. Stallings, and Mumia can't get around him. Great breakdown tackle that time by Justin Stallings. He just won't be a tailback this evening. Saved a touchdown that time. Mumia found a huge crevice that time in the middle of the field, and he ran it all the way back to the 44 of Hawthorne. Another example, perhaps, of a return team after they see a ball floating a little bit and running on the ground a little bit, slowing down a little. And Mumia took advantage of it here. Great tackle by Stallings. And Leuzinger sideline comes to life. This will be the fullback, and he's got first down yardage. Lamarck Lorick carrying a couple white jerseys with him. Game of about 11. First down for Leuzinger. Coach Carnes wants to establish the run. He's got a quarterback with not a lot of experience. Jason Simmons took over at that position after requesting a chance at quarterback with just 3 weeks remaining before their opening football game this year. He's gone the entire way, and he's a junior. Got lots of potential, but completing just around 30% of his pass attempts. They want to establish a ground attack, and they're doing just that. Lamarck Lorick, fullback. Give him about 3.5, 4 on that one. Charles Smith is the tailback. Receivers, Jason Sharp and Wally Moomin, and Big Aaron Williams, the tight end and sophomore. Also very active in the offense. Left to right, and it's a very close-knit offensive line will run down their names after this play. 2nd down and 7 for Leuzinger. Simmons with both backs split behind him. And this will be the first carry for Smith. And he gets pushed to the ground by Tavita Moala, fullback and also middle linebacker, and certainly a spiritual leader for the Cougars. Big play here for Carnes. 3rd down and 7 for Leuzinger. Left to right. Randy Miller is the left tackle. Left guard Patrick Dyer, and an interesting story. We'll develop that. At center, Jose Padilla, just 200 pounds and in the middle of that line. At right guard, Anthony Baker, big number 79, 230 pounder. And finally, the best of the lot, perhaps Tovetti Usu, senior and a well-recruited right tackle. He's 330 pounds. And it's a fake reverse. Didn't fool anyone there. Luis Garcia, that time from the backside, making Tony Rodriguez 16, not 18. Did not go for that fake. It took a long time to develop. That fake handoff took place a good 2.5 seconds after the opening hike, giving Rodriguez plenty of time to hustle in from the left side. Leuzinger will punt here, and it'll be Chad Satter. Handles all of their kicking. And he gets it off, the left footer does. And Moala fakes a catch, and it will roll into the end zone. Tough break for Leuzinger there. Hawthorne takes over again at their 20. That'll do it for our first 12 minutes. First quarter has expired. Hawthorne leads 3-0. And instead of going left to right, we'll move it right to left as we begin our second quarter. Quick first quarter there as both teams elected to keep it on the ground, and Hawthorne with a little more success than Leuzinger. Hawthorne marched it all the way to the 10 of Leuzinger before their drive was stalled, primarily due to a miscue on a handoff, which cost them 7. Drive concluded with a field goal, giving them the 3-0 difference as we begin our second quarter. John Baylor for Paragon Cable. Ron Pitts may or may not join me as this game evolves. Big night of football in the South Bay, north and south, playing about 6 miles south of here. West hosts Torrance this evening. And right here, it's Leuzinger and Hawthorne, Division III, not Division IX. In motion, Moala. And this will go instead to his brother, Khaleesi. These brothers, something. They're in there together very often, especially with McCoy out. That was the younger of the two, Khaleesi the junior. First down yardage for Hawthorne. Tavita clears it, goes right to left, and it gives his younger brother Khaleesi this chance, and he was really untouched until late in that play. Secondary of Leuzinger making a lot of tackles against the run. Single coverage wide left. They have refrained almost entirely from putting it in the air, and they will not do it again this time. This looks like Stallings. It is, and he keeps fighting. Normally a wide receiver, due to McCoy's absence, Justin will get plenty of carries out of the running back position. Just 2 carries prior to tonight, and both of those from his wide receiver position. A little bit of a trap that time on the misdirection handoff, gave the linemen time to pick different angles and better angles on their defenders. A little bit of an opening for Stallings that time, and he gained 3. 10:50 remain in our first half. And in motion goes J.J. Arnett. To the front man, this is Khaleesi. Moala, he's a blue-collar carrier tonight. Everything's inside for him, and he usually gets hit at most a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. One thing this kind of successful run does is take the home crowd out of the game a little bit. It can be very demoralizing if you cannot stop a running attack. And a big play here for Leuzinger. This is not 4-down territory. If Leuzinger can stop him, Hawthorne will have to punt. 3rd and a long 5. 8 blue jerseys on the line of scrimmage. They'll throw it this time. Tatum's got a man and probably a touchdown. Ronnie Moore set. Caught it 18 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. And you see the verdict. Touchdown, Hawthorne. At present, 9-0 Cougars. A successful running attack took its toll that time. Leuzinger, not only in their alignment, but psychologically prepared solely for that run. And that time, the straight pass to the streaking Morissette garners 60 yards and a touchdown. And the extra point by Extraa. He's perfect for the night. A field goal and an extra point. 10-0 Cougars. That fly pattern is so successful when you've got a lot of blue jerseys and defenders close to the line of scrimmage, because there's no cut, there's no delay. It's strictly, as the name implies, a fly pattern. And if none of the secondary, deep secondary people are expecting a pass, they can't turn swiftly enough. Well-developed offensive scheme by Coach Robbins. Really lulled Leuzinger to sleep a little bit, at least their secondary. And that's the conclusion of that play. Ronnie Morissette on the receiving end on a 60-yard plus touchdown. Hawthorne jumps ahead 10-0. Leuzinger's offense needs to build some momentum, certainly, as the waning seconds of the first half tick away. They have just not been on the field much. 1 first down, they've had about 6 plays from scrimmage, and otherwise it's been all offense for Hawthorne. So this will be Mumia. He picks it up without sticking a knee on the ground. Smart play by him, and again, right up the gut. Will Wally score this time? Again, it's Justin Stallings trying to stop him. He cannot, but the extra moves allowed the trailing coverage team to pull him down. Credit Alex Extraa for running back and not quitting on that play. You wonder how many times Hawthorne's kicker is going to send it to this man. Wally Mumia looked back that time, and that couple extra moves gave Extraa the chance to drag him down from behind. Again, great field position for Leuzinger. They need some points this set of downs. From the 38 of Hawthorne. I formation behind Simmons. Jason hands it off to the front man and the fullback, Lamar Lorick. Give him 6 yards. This guy does not quit. Defensively for Hawthorne, Shone Fanua is the right end. Matt Heilman, and a senior, is the right tackle. Left tackle, Daniel Dorsey. And at left end, Vida Buchanan. And guess what Vida's middle name is? You guessed it. Blue. Named after the Cy Young Award winner of 1971, Vida Blue. He's the left end. Linebackers from the strong side will be William Tuivai. In the middle, Tavita Mawala. And the weak side linebacker, William Robertson. And we've got a late flag against Leuzinger, exactly what Coach Carnes said this team could not afford. Looked like an illegal procedure, and this is a surprising call, because typically on this kind of a call, a penetration of the neutral zone, the referees will blow it dead. In the books, it counts only as a 5-yard infraction. Really is an 11-yard infraction after the 6-yard gain by Mawala. Will Simmons put it through the air? If he does, he's going to face the secondary of Kelvin Hunter, J.J. Arnett, Ronnie Morissette, who just scored the touchdown. He's the strong safety, and Justin Stallings is the left corner. Simmons will put it through the air, and he's got a man. Thomas Flanagan that time caught the short pass in the flat for short yardage. Khaleesi Mawala with the tackle. .844 remains in our second quarter, and Leuzinger needs yardage right here, 2nd and 13. Simmons has a quick release when he throws that ball awfully hard. Get someone deep, and he could get it there in a hurry. If you're running a short pattern, you got to keep awake. Again, it's Lorick, and Lamarck is a workhorse. Give him about 6. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Leuzinger. 4 down territory for them. They're at the 35 of Hawthorne. And it's 4 down territory because at this yard line, you really don't want to punt it. Probably you'll kick it into the end zone, so you'll really only gain 15 yards. And you can't kick a field goal. It'll be about a 52-yarder. And you have 3rd and 6. Thus, you can really plan 2 plays here and perhaps both running plays to gain the difference. And they are spread out. Interesting formation here. The linemen were a good full body apart, and Simmons goes left. It's nearly picked off that time. He's been active this evening. Tony Rodriguez again nearly grabbed that one. You rarely see that formation. The spreads of the linemen were about 6-7 feet. Unusual because it creates gaps in your line and allows anyone blitzing to get to the quarterback awfully quickly. 4th and 6. Coach Carnes said he had not changed his game plan at all this evening. They're going to play it as if McCoy were playing and as if they needed this one to stay in the playoffs. The team, however, has been alerted that Peninsula won, and Inglewood thus will finish 4th, Santa Monica High School 5th, and Leuzinger at the very least will finish 3rd. If Leuzinger does end up victorious this evening, a drawing has already taken place, as yet to be publicized, and that drawing was between Peninsula, Leuzinger, and Hawthorne. They're drawing for the right to finish 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and the first place team receives an automatic home game a week from tonight, Friday the 20th. Second place team has a 50-50 chance of hosting their first playoff game, and the 3rd place team will necessarily be on the road. 4th and 7. Leuzinger's offense stays in there. You don't want to give it back to Hawthorne. They've been munching yardage as well as time. They've owned it most of this first half. 7:38 remains. 2 receivers split right. There'll be double coverage over there. They've got a safety. And here's Simmons, another big rush. And he's got to get rid of it. 4th down, he's got to throw it. And the problem that time was that the play was designed to the wide side of the field, very natural. However, the quarterback is left-handed, and when he rolls right, he's got to have time to plant his foot, straighten, and throw. And that time, Simmons did not have that kind of time under the big rush. You see, he's got to plant right here and face. If he's a right-hander, he might be able to dump that football. First down for Hawthorne, their best field position of the night, their own 45. Best field position to begin a drive, that is. Clock still ticks, 7:16 remains. And guess what? Hawthorne's offense back out there, Kenji Tatum. And straight drop back for him. They're going to air it out this time. And they've got a man on the right side, looks like Stallings, and broken up well at the last moment. Scott Deshay that time, 6 foot, 160-pound junior, leaped high to break it up. Robbins with a little more latitude now with the 10-point lead, and he knows he can rely on that run should Hawthorne ever close this, or Leuzinger ever close this gap. A little more risky now on offense. He threw on 1st down, 2nd down, and 10. And again, a Leuzinger player jumps offside. Charles Smith that time, undrawn, just sprinted across the line. That's the 3rd time the Leuzinger defense has been called for that. They've been their own worst enemy thus far this evening. John Nico calls the signals. He wears 41. He's in the middle of that defense. And they're obviously trying to stop that run. It's going to go wide right this time. Nico pursues, gets in on the tackle. Only a gain of 2, but it was 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10. Now it'll be 3rd and 3. There's a good look at Kenji. He's a junior. He's scored for he's thrown for 1,062 yards this season, 57 of 87, just 3 interceptions his first year as quarterback, and he's got 16 touchdown throws. Ronnie Moore sets the backup, and he was the starter last season. I was told before the game that Kenji's got a little better, as strong an arm, but a little better touch, and the reason he's starting this season, guess who? It's Nico. Just 215 pounds. They call him the wild man on the defense. He is everywhere. That middle linebacker position, you not only need an ability to hit quickly and hit hard as he can, you need an ability to read. Nico that time was with the ball carrier just after the handoff. It'll be 4th and 2, huge hit by Nico, and the punting team comes in. Stallings will handle it. Finally, Mumia goes back, and Leuzinger wants to see him have a chance with this one. No fake. Leuzinger was ready for it, and Mumia not back far enough to catch this one, and it'll roll out inside the 10. Everyone, including the catcher, Wally Mumia, was expecting some sort of fake on the 4th and short in Leuzinger territory. 5:27 remains, and Leuzinger needs some points here. They trail by 10. The defense, though, has held. And that's got to be a confidence lifter for the Olympians. John Baylor for Paragon Cable. We're bringing you Hawthorne and Leuzinger, and it's gone as billed thus far. We're midway through the second. Hawthorne leads by 10. They are 8-1 overall. Leuzinger 5-4. Hawthorne 3-0 in Bay League play. Leuzinger 2-1. The workhorse tonight, Lamarck Lork, gets another try. Short yardage for him. It's fun to watch. Lamarck, he does not quit. Coach Carnes wants to keep it on the ground. And he's had some success running, but penalties have stopped drives thus far this evening. Wally Mumia and Jason Sharp, who's trying to get into the offense, go wide right. They've got single coverage over there. Simmons looks that direction, and he'll throw in that direction. This is Mumia. Wally's got some great moves. And that time, the pursuit pulled him down. That was William Robertson on the tackle. He's a senior, 6'2", 205, with nearly a 3.0 GPA, and he's received interest from San Diego State. Paradise Restaurant has provided us, the entire crew, with food each of these 10 games this 92 fall season. They're at 889 West 190th Street in Gardena. And we have a Hawthorne player down. It is not Robertson. Hawthorne 8-1, and as you might expect, they've got plenty of seniors entertaining collegiate offers right now. Most noteworthy, Mustafa Sobi, the left tackle. He's got a 3.98 GPA, and that's not due to easy classes, I'll tell you that. Honors English, physics, also takes a trigonometry class. He's received interest from Bill Walsh up at Stanford, the Washington Huskies, and California Golden Bears. It'll be interesting to see where the 275-pound left tackle Sobi ends up in the fall. He's a captain. Ooh. Obviously in pain. It looks like a right wrist of some sort. And that's a player that Hawthorne cannot afford to lose for any length of time. Tavita Moala. It could be that tender shoulder. He is favoring his right side. Perhaps it's a wrist, perhaps it's the shoulder. and he is obviously in serious pain. Moala out right now for Hawthorne. They lose their starting fullback and their middle linebacker. 3rd down and 13. Again, a big rush. And it's Simmons keeps the football. We completely lost him. Touchdown, Leuzinger. Looked like he had handed it off, and Jason Simmons kept it and ran it the entire length of the field. Oh, my. Right after they lose Moala, Simmons takes the first handoff. First snap after that, and scampers nearly 80 yards. Jason Simmons, look at him fly. No one touched him after the line of scrimmage. He could run to the beach if he wanted to. Extra point is up, and it's perfect, 10-7. Chad Satter knocked it through. 4 minutes even remain in our first half, and it's a completely changed football game right now. Leuzinger trails by just 3. Tavita Moala, and it looks like the shoulder. Double whammy for the Cougars right there. They lost their middle linebacker and their fullback in one play, and the next play from scrimmage, 80 yards, touchdown against them. 3 of the Hawthorne defenders and I thought the handoff had been made. We were following the fullback. Instead, the quarterback kept it, and you saw the result. Great play action that time by Jason. Satter will kick to Morset and Stallings. Satter's left foot lets it rip. This kid's got a nice leg. It'll be Morset, a big guy. He's around 215, and he takes a hit. Rudy Casillas, the one credited with the tackle that time. He was a headhunter on that play. Watch him come in from the left side. Boom! Elroy Tolbert also there to lend a right shoulder. Leuzinger is just so visible, outweighed a good 20-30 pounds per man seemingly. Most of these blue jerseys filled with 150, 160, 170 pound bodies. And Hawthorne flows out to the left side. Stallings off of a hit, and he stays up. Great effort that time by Justin. Ron Nickerson had a chance to throw him for a loss, and Stallings bounced off him like a bumper pool ball. One drawback of that 80-yard scamper, it left Hawthorne with plenty of time here in the first half. 3 minutes remain. They lead by 3. Hawthorne has lost both their starting running backs, Corey McCoy, and a moment ago, Tavita Moala. Khaleesi Moala, the younger brother, gets this one, and as usual, right over center for Khaleesi. When you run the big guy, Khaleesi Moala, through the middle, you really have got no blocking back in front of him. If his brother were there, he might have a white jersey in front of him to clear the path. Justin Stallings, though, not the big man you want to clear the hole. Good for a first down for Hawthorne. They've got it at the 35-yard line. 2:15. Time begins to become a factor. They certainly can throw, and a little time developing this one. Finally, Justin gets it, and big yardage for him. Mumia with the hit. Stallings really learned the tailback position this week. Coach Robbins said he was familiar with the offense. Didn't take a long time for him to learn the tailback moves. And as yet, there's been no miscue between quarterback and tailback. Timeout by Hawthorne. They've got 2 remaining. 1:49 remains in the first half. We'll take a break at the end of the first half. Stay with us for the second half and also for an interview after this one with the winning coach. We'll replay this one Tuesday at 8 p.m. and that's November 17th. Paragon Cable TV, Channel 27. Final regular season football offering for you this season. We'll bring you basketball at least once a week this winter. Eye situation behind Kenji. Kenji looks back there. Now they split. Stallings and Khaleesi. I'll give it to Khaleesi, content to keep it on the ground, and we've only got 100 seconds remaining. Close to another first down. Coach Robbins playing it conservative right now. Officials asked for a measurement. This will benefit Hawthorne. Clock is stopped, and they don't need to burn a timeout. Both these teams with great football traditions. At Hawthorne, late in the 80s, Curtis Conway played. Also Mike Marsh, the recent gold medalist in track, played football for Hawthorne. Travis Hanna is at USC and a teammate of Curtis Conway, played there. And Chris Alexander, the unknown running back, really, who gained all the yardage last Saturday against Oregon State, was a 1990 graduate of Hawthorne High School. And on the other side, really the tradition began after the arrival of Coach Carnes. Prior to 85, this was or 84, it was a football program that hadn't seen much success, even though the school was founded in the 1930s. And since then, Carnes certainly has turned it around. His first year after losing year in 83, his first year at the helm, they made it to the first round of the playoffs, and in 85, they won the entire CIF. 3rd and inches. Coach Robbins will probably have to burn a play to get the first down. They do, and the clock will keep moving after the chains mark the new yard line. From that 85 championship team, you'll probably remember the name Sean Smith, wide receiver, who played for the Hawkeyes of Iowa. Mike Reddington was an all-Bay League player that season. And Coach Carnes is back for his second tenure. Took a year off last year, remained at the school, just did not coach the team. Coach Tom Jesse, who's on the staff now, headed the Leuzinger program in '91. And right now they're trying to stop the Cougar march. And we've got a trick play and a pitch. It went from Marquise Jones to the tailback, Stallings. What that is a 6-yard stop pattern, which is definitely there because Leuzinger's cornerbacks are giving them about a 9-yard cushion. If they're that far off, it's going to take a while for the hit to be applied on the receiver. He's got a moment to pitch the ball to the tailback who followed the throw. You call that a hook and ladder, and it worked for an additional 6 yards all the way to the 32. We're just under a minute, and Hawthorne has yet another first down. Now they're doing it through the air when they have to. Jones wide left. J.J. Arnett wide right. Arnett trying to get into the offense. Khaleesi will clear it for Stallings, and he is brought back. Elroy Tolbert at the beginning of that rush, and guess who? John Nico right behind him. Hawthorne takes its second timeout. 44 seconds remain. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 32. And Hawthorne is without their starting backfield. Last week, Leuzinger beat Santa Monica 35-0. And if you thought that was a rout, you might want to know that Hawthorne beat Santa Monica earlier in the season 72-0. And again, Hawthorne in that tough game against Inglewood last year, surprisingly competitive game. They finally won it 21-19, helped by a Tavita Moala interception late in the fourth quarter. This is a Hawthorne team which has averaged 400 yards a game on offense and 43 points a game thus far, which last week lost its first game of the season to California Power Bishop Amat. Looks like the same play, but it's batted down. That looked like Williams that time. And the clock stops, and Hawthorne will still hurry up. 3rd and 10. Now the downs become an issue. They'll certainly go for it on 4th. Just need to get half of it back. Kenji looks left. It's a screen play to Stallings and lots of blockers in front of him. They've got to bring him down. They finally do. Well-designed play that time. They allowed the front rushers to come in quickly, and you know they've got some speed. They are small up front for Leuzinger, and it was intentionally designed. The rushers get by the front line, and then the front line takes off after the screen pass, and they create additional holes for Stallings. And that's where a wide receiver's moves certainly are helpful. He's used to this, catching the pass and running it. Justin Stallings high-stepping his way all the way to the 12. Leuzinger had their first momentum 3.5 minutes ago after the 80-yard scamper by quarterback Jason Simmons. And since then, another methodical Hawthorne drive. This team can burn up time. If you're on offense for Leuzinger, bring a paper back. 34 seconds left here in the first half. First and 10, no timeouts remaining. They've got perhaps 3-4 plays left. Most of them probably will be through the air unless they get very close and can afford a run. The clock will continue to move if the ball does not go incomplete or if a player does not get out of bounds. They're going to throw it high to Morissette, and he's got it. He turned around the defender completely, that time completely decoying Scott Deshay, and Morissette's got some height advantage on him as well. Morissette deked like he was going to go deep into the corner like most throw high and run patterns end up, but the ball was thrown to the goal line, not the back line, and he turned around well before Deshay felt he might. And another 6 points for Hawthorne. They lead 16-7. Extraa, and we've got a fake. They're going to go for 2, leading by 9. Wide open, J.J. Arnett. That's the way to get into the offense. Completely surprised Leuzinger that time. And Hawthorne will have plenty of momentum as we go to the locker rooms at halftime. 18-7. Surprising call there at the end of the second quarter. We've seen so often this season on Paragon the importance of the extra point. And that time, Coach Robbins completely risked it, and the pass was complete. Wally Mumia time for Leuzinger right now. He's had 2 huge returns here in the first half. Plenty of points put up in the second quarter. It was 7-0 as we switched sides, and now it's 18-7. Hawthorne has increased its lead further. Mamia's in the middle, Jason Sharp to his left. You know, Coach Carnes told Wally to take anything close. Look for a low click here as Extraa will try to keep it away from Mumia. There's the 2-point conversion. Actually, there's the end of the touchdown catch by Morissette. And Tavita Moala will not be back. Apparently, he dislocated that shoulder perhaps Hawthorne will be without both starters in the running back position the first week of the playoffs. That ball's inbounds, and Wally's got to pick it up, and they've got kick return left on. Now he hits up the middle where he's had so much success, but plenty of conjunction there this time. He pitches it at the last moment. Here's Jason Sharp scampering down the left side. No one's touched him yet. Jason's going to score. Oh, my. What a risky lateral at their own 25. Jason Sharp on the receiving end from a dish by Wally Mamiya. Oh, my. Woo! Wally might want to think about public office. Oh, he was being dragged down, and at the last second dished it off with still plenty of time. 15 seconds for Hawthorne to kick a field goal or run it back. However, we have a late flag, and it goes against Hawthorne. There's the end of that scamper. That'll be in the all-time Leuzinger football highlight film. Jason Sharp touched a few times, but he didn't have to make many moves. He really could go west-east, and consequently, no white jerseys could catch him from behind. Most of the Leuzinger offense has been on special teams, namely kickoff returns. Now an interesting decision. They trail 18-13. And with the penalty declined, the yard line will be the 2.5. Probable 2-point conversion here for Leuzinger. They call a timeout. The thinking is, sure, if you get just a single point, you trail by 4, a field goal won't win it for you. Why not go for 2? However, a Leuzinger touchdown when trailing by 4 gives them a 3-point lead. If it's in the fourth quarter, you go for 2. Here in the second quarter, what do? That's the timeout by Coach Carnes. Another example of how the 2-point conversion rule makes the game of football much more interesting. Coach Carnes talking to the head referee, now retreats to his offense, and it looks like the offensive team, they probably will go for the 2. This, a big play, and we're 10 seconds away from halftime. The moon settles over the Olympian Field here at Leuzinger High School. The flame burns brightly on the west side. Make it the east side of the Olympian Field. This is one of the best cared for fields you'll see in the LA area. Looks like a golf course out there. They'll go for it. Simmons, and it's Williams behind him. They'll give it to Aaron, and he's got 2. Oh, my, they throw in the tight end at the big tailback position. And quoted in the LA Times was Coach Carnes as saying it was very seductive to try his big tight end at the back, in the backfield. It gave him a big back finally. And they tried it on that play, and it gives them an additional 2. It'll just be a 3-point deficit probably as they go to the locker rooms. There are just a few spots on this field where the sprinklers stick up and it's very wet. Otherwise, the field's in perfect condition. Grass is 2 inches thick throughout. And Satter will kick off. It's been a highlight film the last 4 minutes. 18-15. Most of the scoring coming here late in the second quarter. Satter pops it up and it hits the ground. Who's going to pick this one up? And it's Moala, and he's a fullback, and he can run. They haven't dragged him down yet. Guess who did it? Wally Mamiya. 3 seconds remaining. Hawthorne has 1 play and no timeouts. Tavita Moala will be taken to the hospital. The initial word is that it's a dislocated shoulder. And remember, he sat out 3 quarters last week due to a tender shoulder. And because Hawthorne couldn't stop it, that'll do it for the first half. Our score, Hawthorne clings to a 3-point lead in an electric second quarter. Our score after 24 minutes of play, Hawthorne 18, Leuzinger 15. Stay with us for second half action.
Discover paradise. Variety and value from $8.95. Dining in paradise. Buy 1 dinner, get 1 free when you call for your reservation. Paradise. It's closer than you think. 1-800-BUY-MEAL.
Coming November 30th to TBS. What is cool? Bond.
James Bond.
I'm beginning to like you, Mr. Bond.
30 years of James Bond. Monday, November 30th through Sunday, December 6th. Exclusively on TBS.
You're on the go, rushing here, rushing there, yet you've still got to find time to keep up with the news. That's why there's CNN Headline News with quick, concise reports on the day's major stories, updated every 30 minutes. But then there are times when you've got more time, and you want a more in-depth analysis of the day's important issues. CNN offers that and more.
Hello.
So no matter how much or how little time...
We're back at the Olympian Field, and you see what's overhead as Leuzinger has pulled within 3, 18-15, Hawthorne in front. And here's where the initial choice by Coach Carnes pays some dividends. He won the toss at the beginning of the football game and elected to kick off initially and receive here as we begin the second half. And that's so important because Hawthorne can kill so much time off the clock with their offense. We've got some first half statistics. Hawthorne with 189 total yards, Leuzinger with 102. 145 on the ground and 53 through the air for Hawthorne. Leuzinger 98 on the ground. Most of those on the 80-yard plus scamper by Simmons for the touchdown. And only 4 through the air for Leuzinger. Penalties, here's a big difference. 1 for 5 yards for Hawthorne and Leuzinger. And most of these infractions came on defense, if not all. 5 for 25 yards, and that has only helped the ball control offense of the Cougars. There you have the first half statistics. And most of these kids went to junior high together, grew up together in Hawthorne, and it's only at the high school level that they play on opposing teams. You see a lot of them, especially the captains, when they meet at midfield, hugging each other. They know each other well, and they'll be certainly friends at the end of this one. Once again. 24 minutes of football officially here in the second half remaining. Hawthorne sideline trying to fire up. They were stunned at the end of the second quarter on a risky lateral on a kickoff return by Walu Mumia, and he again is in the middle of the field. Jason Sharp, the recipient and beneficiary of that lateral, is wide left. Who will Extraa kick it to this time? Perhaps an onside kick, and certainly on the ground. They want to get it to Mumia, and it'll be Smith. He delayed for a moment. You need to be decisive when you're running the football back, and that time Smith did not have a plan should he receive the football. He wanted the lateral back, you could see, but Mumia was too far back, and the delay allowed enough white jerseys to crowd around him, and Leuzinger will start on their own 41. Smith and Sharp go out for the moment, so you see plenty of numbers in the offensive scheme for Coach Steve Carnes. The quarterback has not changed. Jason Simmons there. And Lamarck Larrick is the fullback. Good carry by him over the left side. And just enough for a first down, at least very, very close. He has been a workhorse on the ground, and it will be a first down for Leuzinger. Left guard Patrick Dyer is a great story. He's a senior and a captain this year. Didn't play at all, really, for the varsity team last year. And Coach John Guilfoyle said he met this kid this summer as he took over at the offensive line coach position and gave him a chance, and he's become a leader. And he cleared the hole that time for Lamarck Lorick. Summer practice for these players begins the end of June, and they go until tonight, or 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, perhaps even 4 weeks from now, if they advance all the way through the playoffs. And this all ensues after a 2-week spring practice. Wide receiver right eye formation. Lorick up front, he'll get it again. This guy gets it every time, and you can see why. One tackle to break, and he could not do it. Saving tackle that time by J.J. Arnett. Lamarck Lorick has been tough to stop all evening if he can just stay fresh. Leuzinger certainly has an offensive weapon to work with. Hawthorne sideline, you can see, a little surprised by the ongoings in front of them. Bust over the left side, credit Dyer with clearing that hole for him. We're back live, 1st and 10 from the 26. It will not be Lorick. Instead, it's Smith twisting his way for half a dozen. He's a 5'9", 170-pound senior. Aaron Williams only has been in the backfield for that 2-point conversion, which closed the gap from 5 to 3. Look for him when needed on short yardage situations. If not to carry the ball, to be a very noticeable decoy. He's a sophomore, 6'3", 215, 3.8 GPA. And he never leaves the field either way. Whereas 85, and he's on the left side of the tight end position. And guess who? Lamarck Lorick, another first down for Leuzinger. Hawthorne-like success here for Leuzinger on offense. Most of it on the ground. And now Hawthorne needs to make a stand and force Simmons to put it through the air, something Coach Carnes would prefer not to do. Hawthorne defense has got to dig in. Matt Heilman looking to the sidelines for signals. He digs in now at his right tackle position. They're against the wall. The yard line is the 10.5. And here's the big former tight end. Oh, the left side, no one can bring him down. Aaron Williams, oh my. He's touched the football twice in the backfield, and each time he's crossed the goal line, this time for 6. .9:13 remains, and Leuzinger takes their first lead. 21-18, and expect a single-point effort here by Chad Satter and the Olympians. A player is down, and it's an Olympian. And that's the center, Jose Padilla. Line coach Guilfoyle calls him a firebug. Just 205 pounds. And he walks up under his own strength. Now Satter gets a chance to make the Olympian lead 4. The first 15 minutes went as scheduled, and now Leuzinger has taken a 4-point lead. Hawthorne's only lost this season to powerful Loyola. And now Coach Robbins has some interesting decisions to make on offense. They've had plenty of success on the ground. There's still plenty of time left. But they trail by 4. If Leuzinger wins, they will announce the outcome of a drawing between Peninsula, Hawthorne, and Leuzinger. All three teams will have finished 3-1 in the Bay League. This far from over. This is more set. He's going left, and he's surrounded by half of the Leuzinger football squad. The Olympians playing inspired football right now. They've got good reason. Just 3 minutes into the second half, they've already struck for 7, and they had 8 points in the final 30 seconds of the second quarter. Morset received it far right, and they had to return it to the left side. That was the plan, and that gave Leuzinger a chance to pursue, and thus Hawthorne starts just beyond their own 20. Tatum at the controls. They'll keep it on the ground. Why not? Plenty of success. Justin Stallings twists his way for plenty. Just second and third effort. Ron Nickerson rode him. Stallings was a freight train that time. Nickerson the passenger. Give him nearly 10. Second and a long one. Some latitude here for Coach Robbins. Single coverage left and right. Leuzinger's had trouble covering the Hawthorne receivers, and this will be first down yardage, but we've got a flag thrown by the back judge. Goes against Leuzinger, so it'll be at least a first down here for Hawthorne. One way to make up for a lack of size is inspired play, and Leuzinger's doing it right now. Oh, a 15-yard penalty. "12 men on the field for Leuzinger, 15 yards, and they'll take the penalty rather than the play. Timeout called by Leuzinger. Hawthorne has plenty of weapons, even with the injuries to their starting 2 running backs. You already know about Corey McCoy, who has not dressed, and he's doubtful for next week. Well, Tavita Moala has left in an ambulance, allegedly with a dislocated shoulder, probably the same shoulder that was tender last week when they played Inglewood. Justin Stallings has had plenty of success at tailback. They've got the younger brother of Tavita, Khaleesi, who can run over defenders. And on pass plays, when they rarely do choose to pass, they've had plenty of wide open receivers, are getting single coverage on either side as the safeties for Leuzinger have pinched. Leuzinger likes that aggressive defense. They really have 8 men, and that's the design regardless of the opposition. Right near the line of scrimmage, they do it again. 3 on a knee and 2 wide, and this time they run over the right side. 8 blue jerseys within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage. Gain of about 5 on that play, and Hawthorne will go hurry up. 6 white jerseys dig in. Khaleesi and Justin behind their quarterback. This will be Justin Stallings. This guy's got some great moves, but you can't evade 6 blue jerseys. No gain, 3rd and 5. If you want to take a team out of a hurry-up offense, you give them plenty of difficult offensive calls, as Leuzinger does by holding Stallings to no gain and bringing up a 3rd and 5 from midfield. J.J. Arnett wide left, he's been quiet. Marquise Jones, the front end of a hook and ladder, his only action in the first half. He's wide right. They're looking for Marquise. This is Kenzie, and he's not dragged down. He'll go for about 2 yards. It'll be 4th and a long 2, make it 3 for a Hawthorne first down. That play took a little time to develop. The play action got held up a little bit, and when Kenji Tatum looked up, he had some arms in his face. It will be a punting situation. Justin Stallings in. Smart decision here by Robbins. If you expect to win and you find yourself losing in the second half, there's a tendency to want to get it all back at once. Robbins not falling for that now, seemingly. Legal procedure by Hawthorne. Now it certainly will be a punting situation when it's 4th and 3. A fake is always possible, and Wally Mamiya will probably get a chance. He is back at his own 25. Stallings, who seems to be involved in nearly every play, will get it off, and just barely. Wally will get a chance at this one. Receives the low line drive kick, and now he tries to turn his field and fumbles for the moment, and alertly pounces on it. Great coverage that time by J.J. Arnett. Put your fastest players on the outside on the punt coverage team, and you can see the result. Mamiya that time had no chance. You need to be pretty decisive when you receive that football. Game will be replayed Tuesday, 8 o'clock, November 17th. Paragon Cable 27. We bring you the best in South Bay sports. Just beyond their own 20, the Olympians begin, and this will be Smith. They don't go to the big fullback, and Charles Smith gets dragged down, loss of 2. Robertson right there. William is quick, 205 pounds, 6'2". An extra 25 pounds over the stummer, and he will have a Division I future. 2nd and 12. Expect Lorick to get the carry here. Even with the lack of passing, J.J. Arnett, the free safety, a good 15 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He's almost lining up for a punt right now. He's 15, 18 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. And his first steps are backwards. Tough to help out on the run on those kind of plays. When they run between the tackles, the Olympians are having plenty of success. Lorick again over the left side. Patrick Dyer and Randy Miller are clearing it. Credit also Jose Padilla at center. Coach Guilfoyle said he had an offensive line that was very together. They like each other a lot, and they play as a group, and they're doing it right now, creating some holes and really allowing the Leuzinger running game to dominate right now here in the 3rd quarter. They're bunched up running formation. It's going to be 3rd and 4. They'll give it to the big former tight end, now fullback, and he will not get it. Aaron Williams pulled down, and we've got a late penalty, and Leuzinger is clapping. That kind of formation really takes any uncertainty out of the play. Hawthorne could really just tee up to stop Williams. They had everyone in front of him to open the hole, and he just ran into a 405 jam. Personal foul against Hawthorne. That at the end of a play where it would have been 4th and 2. Hawthorne's sideline besides themselves. They had it, and the football would have belonged to them. Instead, with 4:36 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Leuzinger's got a fresh set of downs. Now ball control is being played by the Olympians. Wide right, Jerome Kane. He's trying to get into the offense, but it's doubtful they'll put it through the air. Why should they? Again, it's Lorick. 7.7 average coming into the game. He has 2 touchdowns. Good hard runner. And he's the leader in rushing for the Olympians. 5'7", 200 pounds. At least a Division II or JC future in front of him, should he choose to. Just under 4 minutes remaining, and Leuzinger leads by 4. They own the football at their own 46, benefited by a personal foul a moment ago by Hawthorne. No chance he'll pass on this one. Jason Simmons, a great runner and former running back. That was a designed run that time. Plenty for the first down, but a flag you saw came flying by the back judge. He's been busy. Holding against Leuzinger. The Zebras give it, and they take it away. It'll be from the side of the infraction. And this is a crippling call for Leuzinger. Will probably force them to put it through the air, perhaps. Second down, nearly 10. Heilman, Fanua, Dorsey, and Vida Buchanan dig in. Vida wears 67, he's near screen. There's a good look at Robertson. 6 white jerseys near on the line, and they're not expecting pass here at all, and that'll hit turf. Simmons has a quick release and not a lot of experience at quarterback, and that time he let it fly, probably to avoid the sack. And now certainly a passing situation for Leuzinger. Not quite 4-down territory. They're at their own 44. Time perhaps for a short percentage pass. Give it to your fullback and let him run. Simmons has not had much time. The line has been exquisite run blocking this evening. The pass blocking has not been there, has not given Simmons a lot of time. We've got a mix-up in the backfield, but Lorick makes up for it, and he leaps his way for a first down. Confusion in the backfield. Lorick ran into Simmons, and he still had the presence of mind to keep his feet, pick a hole. Guess where he went over? The left guard, Patrick Dyer, Miller, and Padilla were there as well to clear it for him. They're going after the right side of the Hawthorne defense. That's Fanua and Heilman. Tuivai is on that strong side, and one reason perhaps they've got a different middle linebacker. Tavita Moala, not only a fullback but the middle linebacker, has not been back since early in the second quarter. This fullback dive will go for naught. Tuivai actually is lined up at the middle linebacker position, replacing Tavita. Morset's the strong safety, and he's playing right up on the line. And William Robertson's the other linebacker. And they've got 5 down linemen. And this will be a pass. They get it outside of all the cluster of white jerseys. And this is Mumia. Wally gets a first down. They've, unlike the first half, Leuzinger collecting their yardage in small clumps this time, and so they're starting to tick the clock off while they're on offense, keeping the Hawthorne offense off the field. 2 different football games here. It was all Hawthorne in the first half, and their offense was on the field at least 3/4 of the time. They got it outside the cluster of white jerseys and let Wally run with it. Nice drag down that time by Stallings. If Justin's not involved in a play for Hawthorne, it's news. Lorick again bounces off a defender. This guy makes you miss. The front 4 for Hawthorne not wrapping up. They're making some contact. They're getting some penetration, but they're focusing a lot on beating their blockers and not looking for the football. And that time, Lorick bounced off a front lineman for the Cougars. Good for another first down, all the way to the 18 of Hawthorne. Kane hustles off the field. They're shuttling in plays with the wide receiver. And Sharp's wide right. He's a wide receiver. He won't touch the football. It'll be Lorick. Lonely night for the wideouts for Leuzinger. They've had plenty of success on the ground. Last year's game ended in Hawthorne's favor, 34-3. You can throw out the records when these two teams play each other. They know each other well. Schools are maybe a mile and a half apart. And timeout called by Jason Simmons. He did not have the benefit of a time clock, but he sensed there was some confusion, and time certainly was running out on Jason. Wise decision that time. You don't want to take a 5-yard penalty when it's 2nd and 7. They have 2 remaining here in the second half. This afternoon, Peninsula beat Inglewood 28-3, and consequently Inglewood will finish 4th. If they are to advance to the CIF playoffs, they'll need to benefit from an at-large berth. Both these teams will advance. The question is, in what position? If Leuzinger wins, they'll all finish at 3-1. Peninsula, Leuzinger, and Hawthorne. If Hawthorne is victorious, they win the Bay League outright and will be home on the 20th of November. Second down and 8. Guess who's back in? Williams, and looks like a T formation behind the quarterback, and those 3 backs will block for Jason. Interesting play there. The 3 backs were really touching feet, almost like linemen. Quarterback hiked the ball, trailed behind them, and followed the 3 big guys right into the line. Good yardage. If you have a weight disadvantage, why not send 2, 3 guys into the hole to counter it? And that's what Steve Carnes is doing. Could be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 6 seconds it will be. At the end of 3 quarters, and we'll keep it right here. The score, 22-18 in favor of host Leuzinger. Hawthorne's vaunted offense having trouble getting back on the field. Leuzinger is playing ball control. Hawthorne sideline holds up the number 4, as does Leuzinger. 4th and most important quarter. This will decide whether there will be a drawing for the final positions in the Bay League. Peninsula beat Leuzinger. Hawthorne beat Peninsula. And we've got 12 minutes left. Hawthorne and Leuzinger. Ron Pitts unable to join us tonight as we advance to the 4th quarter. You're trying to get to a football game and you need to use the 405. You can guess what the odds are, you'll make it. Use a bike. 22-18, Leuzinger leads by 4. Same formation as they used a moment ago. Will they fake going left and bootleg right? We'll see. They will not. Same play again. Following the 3 big backs, they needed a yard. They get it. High percentage play there. And on their right side to counter those 3 backs rushing into that hole right behind Dyer and Miller. Nico is in there as one of the backs, and he comes up hobbling on his right ankle. Hawthorne's defense tries trying to figure out what the call is. Their backs against the wall. 1st and goal from the 7. Same formation. Like to see him fake this and bootleg right. Morset over there, he won't get a chance. And instead, this will be Thomas Flanagan. He has not touched the football until now. And like Williams, every time he touches it, he scores. Oh my, they went to another player. A late signal that time. Flanagan got across the goal line, an additional 6 points for Leuzinger. Hawthorne in shock. Plenty to cheer about if you're wearing blue and white tonight. What a turnaround. Leuzinger behind 10-0 earlier, and now they lead 28-18. Here's Satter. He's been perfect tonight. He's had 1 field goal block this season. And this is a big one. They lead by 10, and it's a missed snap. Mumia couldn't pick it up, and he's still up with the football. He'll throw it high. A chance here, and they get 2. What a catch that time. Lamar Clark. Wally Mumia. My, has he been on fire tonight? He fumbled the snap, and you saw what happened after that. Give the game ball to Mumia. And now he's limping on it. But they nullified. Penalty called against Leuzinger. That was a late flag, and really very few on the Leuzinger sideline saw the flag. They were celebrating. That would have made it 30-18. The penalty takes 2 points off the board, and they'll try for 1 again. Morset will rush in for the safety position and try to block this one. Here he comes. Satter gets it plenty high, and it's wide right. Forget the 2 points. 28-18, the lead is 10. And life breathes into the Hawthorne sidelines. .29 remain. We're just 31 seconds into the 4th quarter. Plenty of time for a Hawthorne offense that, sure, is plenty of depth at taking time off the clock, but also with plenty of firepower through the air, this team can score quickly. You don't average 42 points a game without a good passing offense. And here's the USC fight song being played by the Hawthorne sideline. Why not? They've got Curtis Conway up there, and also Travis Hanna. And as well, they share the same colors. Gold, red, and white. This will be Stallings. He gets hit and brought down at the 26. Alfredo Gonzalez kamikaze Stallings. This is where Kenji Tatum gets a chance to show his passing prowess. And Justin comes out after getting hit in the hip. And this will be the new tailback getting the call. William Tuivai, who's the strong side linebacker, 3rd string tailback. And with McCoy, Stallings both out, Tuivai comes in and hops his way for 4. Kalisi Moala is at fullback, and due to the hit to his hip, Stallings is out, and Tuivai is in at tailback. Depleted skill position situation for Hawthorne. They've got it 2nd and 7. And again, Leuzinger jumps offside. 2 players that time. Charles Smith and Miguel Gutierrez. Not the time for the senior 180-pound, 5'9" kid to jump offside, and he hustles off the field. He's got to get off before the snap. He finally does. Different offensive situation for Hawthorne. They've got it second and a short 3. They'll give it to Tuivai. This kid can bowl over blue jerseys. He does there and scampers for more. William Tuivai is going to be in the offensive statistics tonight. Boy, those linebackers love to touch the football. Boom. All the way until, guess who, Wally Mamuya pulls him down, but it's in Leuzinger territory. Leuzinger leads by 10. We're just under 10 minutes remaining, and Tuivai is the man of the hour for Hawthorne. The one who slowed him, Aaron Williams. Bottle rockets are going off in the crowd right now, and you can understand why the Hawthorne sideline is a little jittery. Their team is in control of the football, trailing by 10, 2nd down and 4. And again, jumping offside, the same man, Miguel Gutierrez. Nico obviously not thrilled with that situation. Gives Hawthorne a 1st down, and the chains will move. The 4th time this evening that Leuzinger has jumped offside. 1st and 10 from the 36. Hawthorne benefiting from the penalties. Gives it to Tuivai again. Someone tries to strip while Williams handles the takedown. Give him half a dozen. It's got to be a gang tackle for Leuzinger, and they're playing as a team tonight, no question about it. Hawthorne, they just look like they're in control. This team trails by 10, so calm. Sign of a champion. They are 8-1, and now's the time to earn that record. Jones wide right. Arnett on the other side, and this time he'll look deep. Tatum dodging plenty of jerseys. He's in a minefield right now and clears himself. He's going to go from behind. They cannot catch him. Kenji Tatum all the way to the goal line. Touchdown, Hawthorne! Woo! Oh, my! What's on that guy's jersey? Handprints right now. No one can bring him down. Definitely worth a second look. Two missed tackles, make it 3. Call it 4. Give them 5, make it 6. Directs traffic for the final 5 yards. Another muff snap. This is a big extra point. They won't get it. The lead will stay 4, and that's a big one. The snap looked like it was there, and Kenji Tatum, perhaps exhausted from his run, not able to put it down. Here's the end of the Tatum run that caused him to obviously be fatigued. For that extra point, tough break for the Cougars. There's the 6 miss. He directs traffic and dives in, making 7 misses, and then he kept going another 30 yards beyond the end line. He had to hustle back. No timeout was called. You get 30 seconds between plays, and Kenji was unable to put down the extra point. J.J. Arnett attended to. He looks to be okay. May get another can bet, Mamina's been told, if it's a short kick, to hustle after the football, just sprint and see if you can get a lateral. Extraa will kick it low again. Will it be Smith? No, it will not. This is the fullback. He can run with it. Lorick through the middle. He can elude some tackles, and he twists his way to the 43. Good field position for Leuzinger. That's what a great run back player does. Every time, even if he doesn't touch the football, you're going to end up with good field position, because to kick away from him, you're going to have to kick it short. And up there are fullbacks and tailbacks. Lamar Lorick takes it to the 42. Now Leuzinger needs some ball control. 7:58 remains. Hawthorne with all 3 timeouts. A little early typically to think of timeouts, but with the way these two teams knock chunks of time off the clock, never too early. Hawthorne fully capable of keeping it the rest of the way. Simmons hands off and gives it to his fullback, Lorick, and he's got just about 10. Kelvin Hunter went low to knock him down. He's a sophomore. He's got 4 interceptions this season, and Kelvin will certainly be a leader for at least the defense in the coming years at Hawthorne.
Good job, catching.
First down just. Fresh set of downs for Leuzinger. 7:21 and moving. Give it to Lorick again over the left side. Great pursuit that time by Hunter. And the ball was down before the takeaway. Tuivai also there with the contact. Second and 8, and you wonder if they've gone to the well too often. Lorick has handled the football 80% of the time, it seems, for Leuzinger. Charles Smith has been quiet in the second half. They haven't needed him. Padilla leads the line to the football. This is where practices from late June to now pay dividends. They clear it, and it's Lorick again. He gets a clump. 3rd and a long 4. They've got some big guys up there. Taveti Yusu, 340 pounds, and he dwarfs the other guys up front. Randy Miller, though, has got 285 pounds on his frame. Jose Padilla, 205. Patrick Dyer, 230. And Anthony Baker, 230. Baker's at the right guard position. He's the only returning letterman on the entire team who played on the varsity 2 years ago, the final year for Carnes during his first stint as head coach. He took last season off. Baker's at the right guard position. He played tackle in the past. They've got bigger guys on the ends now, and so he's at guard. No call there. He wasn't in the neutral zone. Lorick gets 2/3 of it back. It's going to be 4th and 1 in decision time for Carnes. Leuzinger is signaling as if they have it. They do not. It's going to be 4th and 1. It'll be interesting to see if they call for a measurement. Carnes will probably request one. No signal yet by the referees, and Leuzinger taking their time to call this play. They're going to have to hustle. They've already burned 1 timeout, and no play has been sent in yet. They're going to have to call a timeout, and this is what they will do. They'll let the time run out near the entire way, and now Carnes calls for a timeout. Tough to judge those because you're unsure how much time remains on the play clock. You never want to catch or incur a 5-yard penalty when you've got 4th and less than a yard. So you really take your chances, try to decide when the 30 seconds will run out, and ideally you have some communication between the timekeeper and yourself, and you ask him, okay, when there's 5 seconds remaining, tell me in the time clock and give me a timeout. 5:15 left here in the 4th quarter. Will Hawthorne win the Bay League outright, or will there be a drawing between Leuzinger, Peninsula, and Hawthorne? Santa Monica High School finishes at 0-4 in the Bay League. Inglewood concludes their 92 regular season at 1-3. In all probability, their season is done. These two teams will play again next Friday. The location and quality of opponent is in the balance here in the final 5:15. They'll go for it. The formation we've seen over the left side, they're going to run behind Dyer with the three big guys clearing the way. Nico's in the middle. Expect Simmons to follow them. Where do you go with the naked bootleg right? They'll do the naked bootleg right, and Simmons gets it. You overload on the left time. On the left side, you get the white jerseys to overplay that side, and you hustle over your right guard. Credit Baker clearing it with Tavetti. If you got a 340-pounder at right end, why not run behind him a little bit? Fresh set of downs for Hawthorne. You knew they could kill the clock. They're doing it. We're under 5 minutes. Jason Simmons, great job directing the run offense. His ally, they lead by 4. In motion, Sharp. He's been quiet, and they burned too much time. Not what they needed. It'll be 1st and 15. Do what got you here. No time to get conservative. Leuzinger never got complacent on offense thus far, and they gave him a 4-point lead. Four down territory. A field goal, though, will give him a 7-point lead. The yard line is the 26. Make it the 36. Sharp in motion, and he's hustling this time. They'll get the play off in time. Simmons keeps it, and he's got a scamper. He will not get outside there. Dragged down by Morissette. Nani's a senior, and he shows why. 6'2", 215, highly regarded senior. Hawthorne sideline inspired. Football was in the Hawthorne's hand most of the first half, and Leuzinger's held it most of the second half. Again, Leuzinger taking their time to call this play. It's going to be 2nd and about 20. They've got to hustle. Padilla does so, trying to get this play off in time. They can ill afford another 5-yard penalty. 3:32 remains. They'll incur a 5-yarder. You've got to continue what gave you this lead. Remarkable how often the mindset changes when you take the lead. Prevent defense exemplifies that. Do you risk putting the ball in the air? 2nd and 25. Not on this down. Smith behind his fullback. Charles has held it only once, and he will not get it this time. They'll pass it, and they'll go deep. One receiver there, Nico. He's dragged down from behind. No call. Kelvin Hunter that time came up as if he might be guilty. No reason for that tackle. The ball was well overthrown. And at this level, it doesn't necessarily need to be catchable. If the hit is made prior to the arrival of the football, even if it's judged an uncatchable football, in the CIF, it's still an interference call. You know, in the NFL and the collegiate level, it needs to be catchable for the interference to be called. Hawthorne calls a timeout. It was an incomplete pass, and they've got 2 remaining. 3:06 left here in the 4th quarter. We had a great one last week. Torrance hosted North, and a heartbreaker for the Tartars. They face off against West this evening, while North and South, both 3-0, are at South High School right now. Here another great one. Carson and Banning last week, big upset for Banning. When 2 great rivals and historic rivals get together late in the season, you can throw out the records. Third down and 25 for Leuzinger. Smith will not get it on the fake. Play action, they go to the same situation. It's the big tight end. Oh, and he thought it might be deflected by Hunter. I don't believe it was. Aaron Williams had a good shot at it. The sophomore had the football and a first down potentially in his grasp. Instead, fourth down situation and a punting one for Leuzinger. If this score changes, Leuzinger will look back at those 2 5-yard penalties and really what seemed to be a change in attitude as they attacked the football after they got yet another first down. They were taking their time, a little complacent. The motion people were going 3/4 speed. Satter back in. And he needs to hustle to get up. He does, and a great kick. Stallings, no hand up, and he just does catch it at his ankles. With Miguel Gutierrez right there to make sure. They'll start from their own 13. 2 minutes and 56 seconds remain in the 92 Hawthorne Leuzinger tilt. Tuivai limping off the field on that punt receive coverage team. Tuivai was handling most of the carries on the last drive. He's walking off on his own power. He should return. Hawthorne cannot afford another running back to go down. Who do they have in there now? Stallings obviously back after getting the hit on the left hip, and Khaleesi Moala in front of him.
Bring the heel, keep it down, keep it all the way.
Is it time for Kenji to put it in the air?
And what we do is coach
He will not. This will be Stallings. And gang tackle with Nico finishing him off by Leuzinger. Hawthorne, 2 timeouts left. They're taking their time. 2:30 left. They certainly can do the hurry up. They've done it prior to this moment. We'll have an interview with the winning coach after this one. Stay with us. And it's been a good one. Still very much in question. Arnett and Jones, wide right. They took 25 seconds between plays. It's going to be 2nd and 7. 2 minutes remain. And they will not run. Big rush, and they bring him down. Gutierrez right there. Also Charles Smith. 1:51, no chains to move, no clock to stop. And Hawthorne has not used their second timeout. It's going to be 3rd and 12 for Hawthorne. 1:39. They burn 25, make it 30 seconds between the first and second down. And now they're going to use another 20 plus between these 2 downs. Now Arnett hustles to wide right. And he's going off the field. That's right. They're in a power I formation, and it's 3rd and 12. And they'll keep it on the ground. Stallings takes it behind his 2 blockers. 1:11. And now we've got a stoppage. Why? Timeout by Hawthorne. They've got 1 left. 71 seconds remain. And they're staring a 4th and 6 in the face. Perhaps the Hawthorne confidence got the better of them there. They were in no hurry, and they took control of the football with 2:30 remaining. It's now 1:11, and they've only run 3 plays and gained 3 yards. Hawthorne is ranked first locally by both the Daily Breeze and the Los Angeles Times. Leuzinger is not ranked. The only other Bay League team mentioned in those rankings is Peninsula. They are not in the top 10. All right, what do you call here? Do you keep it on the ground, or you go with a passing game that really hasn't found its mark this evening? Tatum can certainly wing it, but when it's been crunch time, they have not gone to that passing play. He can run as well. They're going to go high and deep. It's going to be up to J.J. Arnett. It's over his head. With the coverage, Jason Simmons, and Leuzinger takes over. He had an open receiver a little bit shorter, and Leuzinger begins to celebrate. That drawing between the three teams took place prior to the game, and we were told by Coach Carnes he would reveal the outcome of that drawing in the post-game interview should it be consequential. And if Leuzinger holds on, that drawing becomes all important. Simmons kneels. Hawthorne, I believe, has one more chance to stop it. "56 seconds. Hawthorne probably out of timeouts. Timeouts not mentioned on the scoreboard. Leuzinger has 2 timeouts left. You saw the signal there. Carnes still very much in this one. There he is on the left side, and you see the other sideline. 2 faces from the same town. There's the north side of the town of Hawthorne. And there's the south side. 9 seconds. Do they need to snap it again? 4 seconds. Leuzinger's going to go on to win it. What an upset. They go to 3-1. Hawthorne falls to 3-1. Overall, Leuzinger moves to 6-4. Hawthorne's record falls to 8-2. And these rivalries throw out the records. We'll be back with a post-game interview in a moment.
Coming November 30th to TBS. What is cool?
Bond. James Bond.
I'm beginning to like you, Mr. Bond.
30 years of James Bond. Monday, November 30th through Sunday, December 6th. Exclusively on TBS.
John Baylor back at Olympian Field, where host Leuzinger has just defeated Hawthorne 28-24. We've been joined by Leuzinger head coach Steve Carnes. And Steve, I know you promised you're going to reveal the outcome of that drawing that took place before the game, but we'll tantalize the audience a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment. First, I want to go back to that kickoff at the end of the first half. Was that ad-libbed by Wally Moomin, or was that planned?
I'd love to say we worked on it all week, but that was an ad-lib. But I'll take it. I'll tell you, that was just an ad-lib. I was as surprised as everybody else. So I'm just happy. I'll take that. That's for sure.
What did you tell him at halftime after he lateraled the football on your own 23 with about 15 seconds remaining in the first half?
Well, at halftime, I told the kids, I said, the gods must be with us, because they're just giving us these opportunities, and I said, hey, somebody must want us to win it. So we just hung in there, and I think the second half, our offensive line came out and really went after them, and that was the difference. When we were able to move the ball on the ground against them and control the ball a little bit, that was a big key. And boy, I tell you, our kids played real well. I mean, the whole team.
Your offense controlled the football the majority of the second half. Did you ever think you could move the football against really a Hawthorne defense that outweighed you 20, 30 pounds a man?
Well, what happened was, and that's why we came out the way we did the first half. And we came out with one tight end and ran a slot, and because we wanted to try to spread them out a little bit, and take advantage of our offensive line. But second half, I stood on the sideline. I said, let's just do what we do best, and let's just go at them. And so that's what we did. And, I thought Lamarck Lorick just did a real good job running the ball.
except for last season. You've been here since '84. Where does this victory stand among all of yours?
Well, they're all up there real. I mean, it's right up there, like the one 3 years ago. But you know, it's
over
these games against Hawthorne. They just, when you win them, it's celebration time. It just makes things nice.
All right, time for the moment of truth.
Yeah.
What happened in that drawing that took place between you, Peninsula, and Hawthorne prior to this game?
We drew first and drew third. Hawthorne drew second and drew second. Peninsula is going in as the first place team.
So you'll be on the road.
We'll be on the road, but that's okay. We're Bay League champions. We're co-champions with 2 other schools, and that's what we wanted. And I'll take it. So I'm happy.
Well, you'll certainly have plenty of momentum next week.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. So I'm happy.
Coach, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Super victory.
Okay.
Congratulations. That'll do it from Olympian Field. I'm John Baylor. Again, the final. Leuzinger 28, Hawthorne 24. That'll do it for our regular season coverage on Paragon Cable. Thanks so much for being with us. This one will be shown, as always, Sunday at 4, Tuesday night at 8. Thanks a lot.